Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Hanging Out with K-Dubs. That's me, K-Dubs. Today I have a guest that has come back after almost a year and a half. Everybody, welcome Frank. Welcome back, Frank.
How's it going, man?
Man, it's going good. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. Hey, thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come on back and hang out, talk.
Yeah, anytime, man.
And talk. So I know quite a bit has happened at Johnstown Meats since the last time we were here. You have sold one of your stores, and I believe that was up in Janesville, correct?
Yes.
Talk me through that. What is that something that you were wanting to do? Is that something that just was like, hey, it makes sense being that we're here on the Walworth Square in Walworth? I mean, what kind of went through your brain, like, as a business owner, to be like, hey, let's just do this or do that, or ended up doing what you were doing?
Well, I mean, it just came down to help. You know, after COVID, everything changed. You know, so
COVID changed the entire world.
Yeah. So the Janesville location, I'd say probably 90% of our business was processing for farmers. You know, so they'd bring in the stuff, we package it how they want it, cut it how they want it, grind it, whatever they needed. That's the bulk of when you're a butcher. When you're a butcher, that's like the hardest thing to do. You know, that's where you need the most help. It's where most hours come in.
Is actually processing the meat.
Is actually like off the hook. Like,
yeah.
So,
after it's been slaughtered, after it's been skinned, then it comes to you, and you go, okay, now we got to cut this up to whether it's making ribs or roasts or whatever.
Yeah. So that's where most of your time comes in, and that's where most of our business was over there. We didn't do a lot of retail. We did, but not nearly as much as we do here. So post COVID, there's just the world kind of changed. Everything really changed when it came to business. We also had a really good deer processing business over there. We were doing maybe 500-600 deer a year, and that's a lot of business. It's a lot of time, and that's a lot of work. During those hours, we were working maybe 6 a.m. to 8 p.m, just going home, sleeping, coming back. And but like I said, it wasn't a big deal to find 5-6 extra hands, or extra people to come and work. Pre-COVID, there's people that were landscapers maybe, or they were doing seasonal work, and they needed the work.
Yeah,
for those months. So
you could always call up a couple guys that but hey, come give me help. Come give me help here for the rifle and shotgun seasons, so we can get through this and knock them out quickly and do a good job at it too.
Yeah, and I mean honestly, that just changed, man. For the last 2 deer seasons that I was there, we would just maybe halfway through the season stop taking them. We just couldn't. I mean, it was three of us. It's too much, and people would get mad at me. But it's like, you want me to take it in and not be able to do the job? Mm-hmm. It's not like this is, wood, it's not, I'm not building you a cabinet. I could build you a cabinet. It could take a year. We got a timeline. As soon as this comes through my door, I have to make sure that I do the right things for you. Otherwise you're going to be even less happy with me when I,
exactly. Because if you can't do the job right or it gets pushed way off or whatever, you're going to have angry customers because it wasn't done on time, or the meat didn't turn out the way that they wanted it to turn out, or on and on and on. This way, if you just say, sorry, we're already to capacity here because I've got 2 or 3 other guys and we're already week or 2 out. Yeah. Sorry, but that's life. Yeah. I mean,
so that's what happened, man. So we couldn't find the help. And I just started thinking, well, what am I going to do here? Most of our business is that. Turning everything down. Also, getting things into kill floors was just so much harder. After COVID, everybody started buying in bulk, So
I could see that, actually.
Because stores closed, and they're like, okay, well, I better have a backup plan in case anything ever happens, And because of that, a lot of things changed at the Walworth location as well. So where people, during COVID, everybody started ordering quarter beefs, half beefs, and all that. Well, a main thing that I was having trouble with is these are all new customers that have never bought a half, never bought a quarter. They're coming to me and they'll be like, I want a half, cut it all into steaks. And in my head, I'm like, well, that's insanity. If I could do that, I mean, that'd be like a license to print money. The most you're going to get out of a beef is you're going to get steaks and everything, but that's the least amount of things that you're going to get. It's mostly roast and burger and stuff. You know what I mean? That's why the steaks are so expensive, because those are your prime cuts.
Exactly.
So, rather than having to explain to 100 people a day, this is what you're going to get, we broke down a quarter. We broke down a half. We wrote down the amount of steaks. We wrote down the roast and the burger, and then we just decided to make boxes. So this is exactly what you get. You get a list. You get this many T-bones, and it just made more sense.
Oh, it's all over your your pages and stuff at Johnstown Meats. Where if you order a quarter beef, this is what comes with it. If you order a half, this is what comes with it. I mean, it's written out. Very simple, very plain.
Yeah, and because of that, our sales went up a lot because now people get it. You know, it's intimidating to do something you've never done before.
Oh, 100%.
You know, especially when you're spending, you know, that much money.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
No,
it's not cheap.
So,
but when you can have that much. When you can buy it in bulk like that, it is cheaper than buying it all individually.
Oh, 100%. That's the way to do it, man. And I don't know how many people I mean, I have, you know, a family of 5 of us now. So I don't know if you've gone and eaten out lately, but man, McDonald's will cost you $60. I take and I'm just like, I don't remember that being that new, you know. So it's like
you go to when we were kids, you went there and if it was a family of 5 or whatever, it was, you know, $30, $28, and it was still like, geez, you know, it's expensive, and now it's like triple that, double it anyway.
Yeah, so that's the thing. It's definitely cheaper to eat at home and cheaper to buy in bulk. For sure.
Exactly, and it's healthier too. Yeah, by the way,
definitely. Yep.
But back to there. So you sat back, you thought about it, and go, man, I don't have the help to run.
Yeah, I have to close it. I mean, I really can't. You know, because I have to process X amount of animals in order to keep my freezers running. They're giant freezers with railing systems in them and stuff, you know. It has to, you know, when my electric bill is $2,000 a month, I have to be bringing this much meat through there in order to even justify the place being around, you know. So I'm like, and I don't have the help. I had one guy at the end. We were 3 guys running 2 stores. So it was insane, you know.
Yeah, you guys were busy all the time.
So that's what it came, and we're turning down work because we can't do it. And
you probably had the space in the room.
Yes,
but the help was the big.
We definitely had the space in the room. We just did not have and also getting things into a kill floor, because as people started buying in bulk, they weren't just buying from me; they were also buying from multiple different farmers and taking them to all the slaughterhouses in the area. And I didn't have a kill floor over there. So, by the way, if anybody wants to buy a kill floor and build a kill floor, you guys will be able to print money. I promise you that. Like. Have you? I don't know if you.
No, I haven't really looked into it.
There's not enough places that'll do killing and it's called kill and chill. They, you know, kill the animal, skin it and stuff, cut it in half. That's a big business, man. It takes a lot of money to get into it, and you have to be in the right spot. But that's a huge business for anybody out there that's looking to get into a business that there's no fail rate. You know, there's no way you can fail at that. You'll be able to kill for all these little butchers in the area, you know. So
well, yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to think. You got the one up in Clinton, and then
Sorgs and Darien.
Yep, Sorgs and Darien.
I think Lake Geneva does it.
There's one in Lake Geneva, and then what's the one down over there on the other side of Rockford? Eichmann's.
Yeah, I've heard of it, but I don't know where it's at.
But I mean,
they don't do and like I know Sorgs. I worked there for a long time. You know, I don't know if I told you that's where I came from. But I think if they're pushing it, I don't know now, but back in the day when I was there, if they're pushing it, they might be able to do 15 a week. That's not a big number, you know? I mean, they have their own. That's 15 a week for custom. They also do all their own. I think at the time they used to do 10 beef for themselves on a weekly basis.
So they would buy 10 beef for themselves. They would cut it all up.
They would raise it in the back.
And then, really?
Yeah, which is pretty cool to see.
Yeah. So then they would be the ones, it's their beef that they're selling.
Yeah, yep.
And then they would do 5 or whatever for customers on the side.
Yeah, and then a couple hogs and stuff. Yeah, but, you know, it's not as much as... So I don't know if you heard of this plan that they were going to open, like I think in Hebron, they were going to open one. And
no, I didn't hear this.
This was a while ago. It didn't go through. They were buying this old church building, and like I remember reading about it. Like I think they posted on Harvard 411, and man, they were talking about, you know, maybe 5 employees. They were talking about 100 beef a week or something. And in my head, I was like, that doesn't make any sense. I don't think these people know what they're talking about. You know, I remember talking to, you know, a farmer buddy of mine that we used to do processing for, and he's like, oh man, he was all excited. I'm like, dude, that's not going to happen. 5 people a week are going to do 100.
Yeah, it's 20 cattle.
I don't think that
20 cattle per person per week.
Yeah. I don't think that person who has ever worked in a butcher shop, you know, that they would know what it's actually going to take.
Well, see, that's the fun. That's, you know, I'm kind of glad you brought that up, because if you don't work in a butcher shop, like me, I don't have a clue what it takes to even have a kill floor.
Yeah.
I don't have, I mean, besides having pens and walk-in fridges, and obviously you're in today's world with EPA and rules and regulations, there's probably so much that goes into that that I'm not even thinking about right now. And they're gonna be like, oh, by the way, you need to do this, this, and this. Yeah. It's like, holy, like you said, it's not cheap.
Yeah, well, I mean, the one I worked for was a little production line. They walk in, they knock the cattle comes. We would hook it from a chain, winch it up. Now, you see a beef is a big animal. When it's hanging, man, what's that, 20 feet? Because it's stretched out. Mm-hmm. I would be on a lift with 2 pedals. One went up, one went down. They'd lift me all the way to like a floor, like almost like an elevator. It would lift me. I'd start skinning the hind leg, switch the chain over to that one, put a hook through. It's like a Achilles tendon. Switch the leg, start doing the other one, as you're
working your way.
As you're working down, and then I'm coming down slowly, skinning, and then from there it goes to the guy that skins the bottom half. He's on the ground. He skins the bottom half. From there it goes to the hide puller. You only skin them. You leave like the back side of the hide is still attached. They put a chain on it. They put it on a hide puller, and it peels off the rest. From there it goes to the guy who guts it and then splits it in half. And then from there it goes to the guy who has like a pressure washing little system, and he's washing them, and he's putting like a citrus acid on it to kill any possible bacteria. Then it goes into a pre-chill, which is a cooler with big fans. You want to cool that down quickly.
Yeah.
So
you should preserve it.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah. So like with these people that were like, oh, we're going to have 100 head of, we're going to have 100 beef. That means you have to have room to hang 300 of them. Because if you're aging them for 2 to 3 weeks, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That means you're going to be hanging 300 beef. Like the size of that cooler alone,
it's got to be
huge.
Not just a cooler, but the railing system to hold everything.
All of that. Yeah. I mean, so I knew right away, it's like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. You're looking at it from the.
People were asking me if I was worried about, like, oh, is this going to take from you? I'm like, that's never going to happen.
Yeah, because I'm sure when you heard about it, you probably sat there and went, well, I've seen this done. I've done this myself. Yeah. Like, this is very, very intricate. This is going to take a lot.
A lot more than what they had.
Probably what they thought about.
You're talking about, 5 employees. It's like, not unless they're Superman, man. Yeah, and I mean, dude, you're lifting those off the rail yourself, man. They're 250-pound quarters that you're lifting off the side. You're sawing them by hand and picking up the chucks, probably 150 pounds, putting them on the table and start like.
And then you start your cutting up.
Yeah. God. The trimming, if people don't realize they order a half a beef, you might get 65% back. There's a lot of fat on those that's got to be trimmed up.
Maybe 65.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, by the time you take all the guts and the intestines and everything.
Yeah, no, I'm saying 65 off the hanging.
That's right. I'm gonna say the hide. The hide is heavy as hell too.
The head, the hide, the hooves. Yeah, people don't realize what because I always deal in my head. I'm always thinking about like hanging weight because that's what we deal with. Mm-hmm. I never used to mess with the live weights because I wasn't dealing with the live weights.
Yeah,
but even just on the hanging, you're probably talking 65%, man.
Yeah, because then you got to take the bones and everything out of it too.
The leaf lard, man. Sometimes a 40-pound piece of lard on the inside of the, that's just one. That just goes right into the inedible bucket.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Can you sell like beef fat and all that stuff?
Yeah,
I think they call it tallow, right? Yeah, beef tallow. Yeah. I didn't know if is there a big market on that?
Not really, man. It's becoming way more popular because of like all these influencers online are starting to do like beef tallow and stuff like that and telling you to stay away from the oil. So it's becoming more popular, but
it's not super popular.
It's not super popular yet.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't know if that, because I've seen some of that too, where people are like, oh, get rid of butter, start using beef fat and things like that. Which, I mean, it kind of does the same thing, but kind of doesn't. Yeah. So. Talk to me about has that, now that you can focus strictly on Walworth.
Yes.
Tell me, how's the business been doing then? I mean, has it gone I'm sure you've improved a ton of things there since now you're like, okay, I've got that place sold. Yeah. It's gone. We can concentrate on this one store now and start moving our product the way we want to move it, the product that you want to move. Yeah. Talk to me about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's always a work in progress, right? Because, there's still a lot more that I want to do right now. I feel like we are concentrating a lot more on obviously we're concentrating on just retail. one thing that I'm going to have to start moving towards more is convenience things, you know, where like I could set up, and it's something that we used to do in the past. I got to get back to doing that. And I'm almost thinking about looking for maybe like a part-time chef that could help me do meal preps. And like, I don't know if you've heard of like Hello Fresh and all these.
Yeah.
Why can't we just figure out a way to package everything together and you have what you need for your meal? And you just got to do the final steps of just cooking the meat and mixing it together, you know? That's where we're kind of moving towards. That's what I'm trying to do. There's a lot of things that I have to do because, I have Johnstown, but I also have the laundromat now. I don't know if you know that.
No.
I have the laundromat in Walworth. I just literally took it over. It was my brother's. So I bought it from the state. So now I have a laundromat. Don't know anything about laundromat. And I have my soft washing company in the summer. So there is a lot of things pulling me in other directions. So when I'm trying to build a team this year, I've been business is tough, bro, especially because I didn't go to school for business. I didn't, nothing like that. So I'm learning on the fly. But I have noticed one thing, man. I've noticed that I'm competing against teams. Everybody out there has a team that is doing what I'm doing. They're just doing it on a bigger scale because one guy is doing this part
You're
of it,
getting pulled in three different
and I'm getting pulled in three directions.
As far as businesses goes, you're getting pulled in now three directions.
Yes.
That's not including family, friends, alone time, anything. You're getting pulled in three different directions. Yeah. You're trying to make three businesses successful.
Yeah.
It's really hard to do by yourself.
Yeah, it is. So and it's also hard. It's hard to do by yourself. It's also hard to delegate and do things because it's your babies that you're working with, and it's like, but that's the plan this year is we're going to grow. If we're going to grow, like there's no way we're going to grow if it's just me. So
No, because you can't do it all.
So, but Johnstown, as far as where we're going, I think we're going to have to do a lot more ready, convenient stuff to do. Maybe package deals where you have maybe three different, ready to go meals that all you have to do is finish off at home, and just a package. Cause everything is just getting so expensive.
It is.
Everything's getting so expensive.
So like, would you say like, okay, we're going to make these just hypothetically, obviously you've thought about this.
Yes.
Are you going to offer like a weekly supply of meals?
Yeah.
A monthly supply of meals? Like what's your thought process on doing
I think we would
like
probably
that?
have like 5 different meals a week and you could choose like maybe 3 of them because how often, like, I don't know, man, how often do most families, like my family's a little bit different because I'm always running around, so I'm not around all the time. But how often does a family nowadays sit down and have dinner?
Yeah, I can't answer that question.
It's my kids are both in sports. My daughter's wrestling right now. So we don't see her, you know what I'm saying? So we don't see her like all of wrestling season. My boy's in basketball and now his new basketball, like it's different, man, than when we were kids. We used to have dinner every day with my parents,
You'd make time for it, whether it was a late supper or if you were at a baseball game or a basketball game or whatever, then hey, fine, we'll grab something quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was any night that you could try to sit down and have dinner together, you did.
Yeah, it's different now, man. I mean, at least it is in my family. But maybe that's my fault because I'm running around, and it's interesting. This year I put a lot of things in perspective. So yeah, I need to find a team. I need to get a team together.
I hear Indeed all the time on the radio. I'm not saying that that's the way to go, but it's definitely something if you want to reach out to find different people or if anybody here's listening that might be able to, help shoot you in the right direction or maybe even give you a hand.
Is that me, man, that keeps doing that?
I don't think it's me.
That's my ring at home. I got to turn this off.
You're fine. I was like, I don't think I have anything unless something's screwing up on my end here. No, but I get it. And that would be something that I think a lot of people would think about just for the simple fact of sometimes preparing meals can take way too long.
Yep.
And if all of a sudden they can be like, hey, let's call Frank up. We know we got this and this and this week for supper or whatever. We can cut the preparation time by a third.
Yeah, it's all marinated. It's ready to go. You just got to throw in. Because I've done things like that with like just fajitas. I have all the fajitas. It's all cut. It's got the veggies. It's, it's the peppers. Everything's cut up. It's seasoned. All you got to do is throw it in a skillet. People love that,
Oh, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Yeah, they love it. You know, all you got to do is get your tortillas and put them in there, and you're good to go. So, but there's got to be more things like that.
Well, plus it's going to be fresh coming from you.
Yeah.
It's not like it's going to be sitting in a truck, sitting in a warehouse. Then it gets pushed out to the grocery stores.
Yeah.
It's going to be right out of your place, out of your business.
Yeah.
I know you do. Excuse me. I know you work with the community quite a bit, as far as like meat raffles and things like that go. And I know like Bob's Barn Grill, you supply all the burger and stuff for them, you know, in their business. How's that? Has that been? Have you gotten a lot of good feedback from things like that?
Yeah, that place is awesome. You know, I deal with them. They're awesome. By the way, if you guys are in Harvard, which I'm sure most of you guys are, or near Harvard, there's going to be a meat raffle there on Sunday, and I'm actually going to be the little raffler guy. You know?
Oh, you are?
If I would go in that. So I think that's Monday the 5th. No, Sunday the 5th. So come on out.
What time?
Buy me a beer. It starts at noon, I think, man. I don't think it costs anything. I think you just can go there and have a beer and get a burger, and I think it's free. You know.
And you get a ticket or something when you do that. I think, right? Yeah. I've heard about it. Haven't been there yet, but I've heard about it. Is that the only place that you do meat raffles for then?
No. I do meat raffles for a bunch of different people a lot of people just come in, they don't even give me a name. They're just like, hey, we're doing a meat raffle. Put it together for us. We do a bingo thing every month for, it's called Cup O' Joe in Twin Lakes, I believe. Yeah, in Twin Lakes. It's this little coffee shop. It's awesome. The ladies there are awesome. And every month, I'm not sure what day. Every month they do a raffle, and they've been awesome to work with. So.
Good.
And then like I said, I have a bunch of different customers that come in, and they just give me their name, and they're like, we want you to put together, $180 or $200, whatever their budget is, and then we need this many prizes, and then I can help
you can
them
make
out.
It work that way.
Yeah.
So you can look at it and go, okay, well, this prize is going to be steaks. These are going to be ribs. This is going to be bacon. And
so if you have a bar or a cause or anything going on and you're going to do a meat raffle, hit me up. Give me a call.
You're professional at that.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at it. So all we need is a budget, how many prizes we need, and then we figure it out for you. You don't have to think about it, nothing. So
it just shows up in prize number 1, prize number 2, and so on and so forth.
Yep.
I've seen something different this year from you guys. Lobster tails.
Yes. Yeah, we wanted to do a lot more of that, man. It's all about finding the right price because it has to make sense, So this year we were able to do, I think, 7-ounce lobster tails which is a nice lobster tail. That's a nice size tail, man, for $14. Which I mean, that's a good price too, So there's that.
Now, do you have like a vendor you go through to find that kind of stuff?
Right now we're kind of in the infancy of that, So we have the company that we're going through now that we got it. But I want to try this other one. It's a company in Chicago. I believe it's called Supreme Lobster or something like that. And they do all types of seafood. So,
nice.
Because, I don't know if you like crab legs, man, but geez.
I like seafood myself. I really do.
But
not a lot of people. You either like it or you really don't.
It's expensive, man. So, like, to do crab legs the right way. I just did, I think, yesterday I cooked, what are they called? A snow crab. But those are the little clusters. But you got to work your butt off to get an ounce of meat on those, man. I like the king crab legs.
Yeah, I think everybody does.
Dude, they're like $70 a pound, So, and that's where I tell people like, it's tough, It's tough because.
Well, we're nowhere near a friggin' ocean.
Yeah.
That's the hard part for us. Like, we are literally almost the farthest part from the ocean in the United States.
Yeah.
Like, there's always going to be shipping involved.
Yeah, $70 a pound. So then I started thinking like, man, because I was looking, I was looking at one company that had, I think it was 20 pounds of lobster, but it was like $1,400 for me to order in like 20 pounds, not lobster. I'm sorry. King crab legs, and it's like, dude, what if I get them and I'm stuck with them?
Looks like Frank's going to be eating good for a while.
Yeah. So that's where but man, I think there's a market for everything,
There is.
It's not like you're going to be eating that every day, but if you want to one day treat, Valentine's Day is coming up. If you want to treat somebody and you want to get a lobster tail, man, Well,
and the other thing that you could do too is, put out an order like once a month.
Yeah.
And then have everybody come in and be like, hey, I'm putting an order out next Friday for king crab, crab legs and lobster tails and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Give me your order. It'll take a week to get or whatever.
Yeah.
And we'll let you know when it comes in. That way you can start bringing that in and adding it to your tools that you have there.
Yeah.
And that might get your foot in the door with people be like, hey, you know, we got these crab legs from Johnstown, or we got this lobster tail from them. It was really good. Next time they get it, we'll have to order a couple and have here at the house, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, man. And, you know, we were talking about, you know, what's happening with Johnstown and what's coming next. And, you know, I really need to, like I said, I need to grow my team because there's a lot of places where we could improve, like our ordering system. You know, we're old school, man. You come on in, we write it down on a piece of paper.
I know,
you come
I've been there.
There's got to be a better way. I'm sure there is, you know, but I need to hire one of these kids that's like a tech kid, you know, and it's like, hey, man, I'm going to need you for a few hours and we're going to have to figure out a better way, you know, a spread, whatever it is, you know. I'm not really good with technology, but it would be nice to, you know, be able to track your order. Kyle, you order this. If you call me next year and you say something, it'd be really nice to have your order from last year and be like, well, this is what you ordered last year. You want to replicate, you know, especially with people that order like bigger packages. It's like,
yeah,
you could just call me and say, I want a redo of last order. Boom, you know.
Yeah, instead of being like, oh, what did I order from you last year? Oh, shit, I don't know. It was something.
Yeah.
I remember the name or remember the address, but not a freaking clue.
Yep. So in order to grow, I think that's what we need to do, order system. And then also, like, I've seen just different things online where, like, the orders are running kind of through a step-by-step thing. You know, the order will come in, it's on, you know, it's due this date, you know, so then it gets put up like how do I say it? It queues up, it's due this week, then you see that it's due this week, you start working on it. Once it's in process, you hit a button, it'll show as it's in process, you know, and then once it's gone, all of that, you know, it moves through different channels. And
it'd be if you ever get to that point, which I'm sure you will, it'd be really cool if you could make an app.
Yeah. Oh, that would be awesome.
Everybody can log in onto your app and be like, hey, I want to order this, and this. It pops right up into your system, and you can do a step-by-step along the way. Yep, received your order. It's going to be 5 days, whatever, you know, day 3. Hey, your order's getting cut and put together. Day 4, we're packaging. Day 5, it's ready.
Yep.
That would be really cool.
So we do have something kind of like that. Not really like that, but you can go on our website, johnstownmeatco.com. That's johnstownmeatco.com. And you could order, you know, our packages on there. But it's similar to that. That has a pretty decent, but it's not the way I want it.
Right, you know? I get it.
So
I get it. And then there's so many different things out there that you can use for your technology base to get where you want to go.
I just almost need a technology person to help me out to, you know, because
it probably wouldn't be a bad thing because, you know, you could probably, I know like when I was working with Deere, they had a guy that was their technology guy, but he was part-time.
Yeah.
And he had a full-time job working at a school district. Yeah. And then once a month, he'd come around, update computers, check phone lines, check security cameras. He was kind of a one-man band.
Yeah,
but I think you could find somebody like that.
I need somebody like that because now
with your 3 businesses,
the laundromat has computer system.
It could work for finding a part-time guy like that could work for you.
Yeah.
That way you can come in and be like, hey, once a month, unless we're having problems, then I'm going to call you and be like, dude, help me. Or
yeah.
But something like that could be up your alley as well.
Yeah, I think so, man. So also something that we got going on right now is we started a how do I say this? Like a networking group, you know. It's actually one of your buddies, I think, man. His name is Andrew, the auctioneer guy.
Kitson?
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he is a good guy, man. So we have a group, you know, where we send each other referrals. We meet on Wednesdays at the library and stuff. But one thing that we're trying to work towards right now is like professional development where, you know, I bring an issue to the table and then, you know, we can talk about it. Maybe we could research it together, figure it out. And all of us as a group, you know, come up with a solution. And it's a really good way of being like selfish and being like, hey, this is what I'm dealing with right now. But if you have enough businesses that are in on it, maybe I'm not good with technology, but maybe the guy sitting next to me is, you know, and maybe he's got questions about social media that I could answer. Maybe he's got, you know what I mean? I think the more businesses that you can deal with and like hang out with, you know, the more everybody's got their niche, man, you know?
And everybody knows somebody that can help you if they don't.
Yeah. So instead of you going out and trying to learn everything on your own and spending 20 years of your life, you know, trying to become this whiz, like if we could get a bunch of people together, and that's something we're going to start growing right now. We're building this group. It's, it's like in its infancy. We're, building the skeleton of how the meetings are going to go and everything.
Cool.
But we do want to have workshops and everything, like where we could have like maybe a social media expert come in and talk to us, or maybe.
Dude, I'd be so interested in that.
Yeah.
I really would.
Yeah.
If whenever you guys open that up or whatever, please let me know.
Yeah, no,
I'll
for
tell
sure.
Andrew the same way, because I would be extremely interested in that.
Yeah. So right now it was a group of us that, we got together through this other organization, and we're just like, dude, we could do this, but we could do it in a better way.
The way you guys want to do it, the way you can structure it to make sure that everybody's getting their voice heard and all their problems solved, or as many as you can.
Yeah. So that's
dude, that is cool.
Yeah. That's one thing that we're going to do. So, I mean, if you're interested in that, look me up on Facebook and send me a message. We're always looking for people, and it's a good way to tap into everybody's, resources and whatever.
Yeah, and it's also a way to learn about everything else too.
Yeah.
Because everybody's going to have a different problem in their business or their personal life or their social life. Everybody's going to have a problem. And if you can have 15 people that are there, I'm just throwing a number out, and 2 of them have had that problem, you're already getting advice on what and how to do it.
Yep. And what not to do, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This podcast episode is sponsored by Dan's Diesel Performance. If you're looking to improve your truck's performance, efficiency, or appearance, check out Dan's Diesel Performance. They manufacture turbochargers, fuel injectors, fuel pumps, transmissions, intake piping, and much, much more. Plus, they offer all the top brands in the diesel industry. They're located in Machesney Park, Illinois. Visit their website at dansdieselperformance.com or give them a call at 815-977-5865. Exactly. I'm glad you brought up social media because I think you told, it was either on Facebook or TikTok or something. You had a video have 1 million views.
Yeah, I have a video that has a couple of videos that has over 1 million views. Yeah, so that kind of just happened. I think it's a video of me breaking down some beef or something. It's
no kidding.
Yeah, and I've been doing videos for a long time, and it hit the algorithm, I guess. I don't know. I can't really explain what happened. All I saw is that my notifications were going crazy, and I was like, "What's happening?" And it's got. I think I have one that has like 3 million views or something.
Good for you.
Yeah. So.
And is that strictly on YouTube? Or
no, that's just Facebook. I actually just started a YouTube channel. It's called Beer with a Butcher. So the plan behind that is I'm going to have a beer and teach you how to skin a deer. I'm going to have a beer and teach you how to make some sausage. I'm going to have a beer, because I feel like the best way to get to know somebody is to crack open a beer and have a beer with them. It's more, and I want to build that to the point where once I get a big enough following, I could have maybe Andrew on, and he could tell me what an auctioneer does while we drink a beer. You know what I mean? Like that.
Look at you starting your own podcast. You don't even know it yet.
Yeah, it's just so like, so a lot of people they're not very comfortable in front of a camera. They're not very, but we're just having a beer. That's all we're doing.
I run through that here sometimes too, and it's the same way. It's I usually ask people, like, hey, what do you want to drink before we start? It's been water. Yeah. So, but and I've had people be like, dude, I'm nervous just thinking about this. Yeah. Make sure you have some of this or some of that. Yeah. Some hot toddies or whatever. It's like no problem. But then once people realize, like, you get in here, and it's just you and me.
Yeah.
There's no audience around. There's maybe the mouse in the corner or something, but it's just us. We're just having a conversation. It's just a little different with a mic in your face.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So Beer with a Butcher, guys. Follow my or like or whatever you call it. What do you subscribe?
Subscribe is on YouTube. Yeah.
So
I never asked for people to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Yeah. I don't self promote enough.
You have to, man.
I know.
I did a video the other day and I was just like, dude, there's nothing to gain in being too humble. And being humble is good, man. I consider myself a humble person. Came from humble beginnings. Working my way up to where I want to be. But if you're too humble, people are going to overlook you, man. And that's not a good place to be, man.
That's true.
So in my business, I do believe that I have the best stuff. I believe I have the best price. And, one thing that one problem that I seem to have in promoting my business is that I see everything from a lens of somebody that grew up with not a lot. So we were first generation. I'm first generation. I was brought here when I was 1. My brother was like 4. So we're first generation. We came from Mexico. We were just getting things like just
figuring
it out. So a lot of things I didn't have, and most people in high school wouldn't know. And most people that I went to school with didn't know how tough it was because after work, after school, it'd be like straight to work till 9 o'clock. Then straight to, so I always acted like I did have it when I didn't. You wouldn't know because I was wearing the brand name shoes, but I was spending all my money trying to act like I had it. And nowadays it's like, dude, I don't even.
Yeah, whatever.
But when you're young like that, in
your image matters.
Yeah. So I see everything through the lens of like, we didn't have it like that. So whenever like, ribeyes come in, ribeyes are $20 a pound. I'll be on Facebook and I'll be like, ribeyes are, so like with the people here, like, oh damn, that's expensive, because I'm saying it's expensive and I'm the one that's selling it. So I'm like, I gotta work on that, So now I'm just like, maybe I'm a little too humble. Like, it's expensive, but it's not expensive compared to the next butcher shop. It's not expensive.
You're in the realm of everything else
for what you're getting. You know what I mean? So,
but I think it's not just butcher shops though. Yeah. If you go to your Walmarts and your Targets and anything else, and you start comparing prices, they're all close. They're all reasonably close. One might be, X% higher than the other one, but in the realm of things, they're all similar in price.
Yeah.
It's just you got to find what you like, who treats you the best, what specific cut, like in your position, what specific cut. Is Frank always there for me when I call him? Yep, he is. Guess what? He might be $1 higher than the next guy, but I know Frank.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and also one thing that I have to do is educate my customers, like, because butcher shops, they're kind of becoming a thing of the past, man. And any butcher shop that closes, there's not going to be a lot of new butcher shops open.
There's not going to be somebody that's going to say, yep, that's what I want to do, is start a butcher shop.
It's tough, man. I mean, look, I got scars. I don't know if you could see all down my arm. My fingers are all crooked. I'm actually the butcher, So I would say that most of the other butcher shops in town, the guy that's the owner is not really the butcher, Maybe his family was the butcher. His grandfather was the butcher, but he's not the butcher. He's the guy in the office.
He was the butcher. He trained trained the next guy, the team member, which you might have to do that down the road too.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, that's true. But some of them weren't even really the butcher themselves ever. It was handed down and they just ran which is not, there's nothing wrong with it.
Nothing.
But there's a difference. There's a difference. I am the butcher. So like when you call me, and that's why it's kind of hard, because like, that's where you're like, do I want to grow? Or do I want to be the guy that, you know what I mean? Because right now I have complete control, and I'm the one cutting it, So it's like, I don't think I want, I don't know.
You'll have to cross that bridge when you get there.
Like, how big do you want to get?
You'll have to cross that bridge. Because you can still have a great team behind you, but the pressure washing business is going to pull you away.
Yeah.
Whether it's a day, 2, 3 hours, whatever, it's still going to pull you away. Yeah. It's nice to be like, hey, finish up these cuts that I'm working on, or hey, finish up this order over here. And then your pressure washer business, you're in the middle of doing that. And guess what? God, we got a problem. We got to, whatever. We got a fridge down at the shop. We got to go make room and do. So now you're going to get pulled away from that. Yeah. So in order to have a team, as long as you can, in my opinion, as long as you can teach them to do the job that they need to do, you can get pulled away and you're not going to have to worry about it because I know they're going to do a good job. I taught them how to do this job. So if I get pulled away in one of these other places, I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, and I'm lucky. I do have somebody like that. He's my brother-in-law, and he's been with me since he graduated from high school. I think he's coming on 10 years of working with me. This was supposed to be a summer job, and and I think I want to say he's on his 10th year, man.
It's his 10-year anniversary. You better do something special for him.
Man. We're going to Vegas, man.
Are you?
Yeah, I don't know. Now we are. I just said it. Yeah.
Can't take it back. Yeah. No backsies.
Yeah. So,
talk to me about the pressure washing business. I know we talked some of it last time that you were here. Mm-hmm. We didn't really get into it. I don't think big detail on it. What's new and improving since the last time that we've had a conversation about that?
So we do soft washing, man, which is, we do pressure washing, we do soft washing. Soft washing is a way to get the exterior of your house washed, like, mold, algae, dirt, all that stuff, but we don't use pressure. So I have a truck. It's a wrapped truck that has my logos on it and everything. It has these tanks on it with different chemicals. So if I show up to a house, I see a bunch of algae and mold on it. I have a pump that kind of pumps up chemical onto your house, like soaps up your entire house. We let the soap and the chemicals do the work, and you could see it all melting down, like the algae, the mold, all that stuff. So we're not on ladders anymore trying to pressure wash every inch, which now that is how we started. But now you're learning that with a lot of these new materials, you could be damaging the material and cutting its lifespan in half. Like there's
siding and things like that.
There's UV coating on the siding that you're washing off, and in 15 years, that siding is going to be brittle and cracking when it should last you, 30 years. So it's the safest way to do it. We're not busting like your window seals, like and getting. So it's the safest way to do it. It's no pressure. It's about the pressure that a garden hose has, but it has a lot of volume. So it puts all this chemical on the house, and it's all biodegradable stuff, and
yeah, it's all eco-friendly, I'm sure.
Puts it all in your house. We let it do the work. And then we come back with giant rinser, rinse it all down, and we're gone. So that cuts the liability for the customer because we're not up on ladders. We're not putting a ladder through your window. Not that it matters, our insurance would cover it, but it'd still be a pain in the butt, and I would look really stupid. So, and also that just, you're not going to have somebody climbing all over your house where they could fall and get hurt, because, you
don't want that. That's the goal, right?
Yeah,
you don't really want that. Yeah. Now, if that's what it is.
Yeah, some houses the way they're set up, they're on a hill, whatever it is, you have to get up there. But we try to minimize that, because even though my insurance would cover somebody falling or whatever, you don't want somebody getting hurt on your property.
No.
Man. They got to go home to their families. So, there's more peace of mind in doing it that way. It lasts longer because we actually kill the mold, the algae, the bacteria down to the root where you pressure wash it, you're giving it a haircut, man. A lot of those spores and stuff stay there and they grow back next year. So you're going to have to redo that time after time where we kill it to the source. It's 4 to 6 times longer. So 4 to 6 years before you have to do it again. It costs maybe,
whatever,
maybe 20% more, but you're saving so much in the long run, And
20% more, and you don't got to touch it for 5 years.
Yeah.
That's pretty good compared to touching it every year.
Yeah. So it's the newer way of doing it. It's the best way to do it. We have like window cleaning systems where we could clean the outside of your windows up to 4 stories from the ground, the extension pulls, water fed pulls. I just bought a vacuum system. It's called the gutter vac. It just clicks together. There's cameras. I could vacuum the inside of your gutters. So I'm not up there. I'm looking at a camera down here and I'm vacuuming out your gutter from the ground. So again, we're trying to cut the risk for the homeowner, for ourselves.
Absolutely.
And it just kind of makes it where I feel comfortable sending somebody out and I know they're not going to hurt themselves,
Wait,
so.
Do you do this like spring, summer, fall?
Yeah, mostly, once it starts, we usually start right around April. Once it gets warm enough, because the equipment, because it's not a pressure washer, it's more sensitive, man. There's water and chemical in the system where if it freezes, it starts busting fittings and doing all that.
So you want to make sure you're well above temperature in order to do
so
that.
We go usually April through, sometimes you could go through November sometimes. I think I was doing a few in November because it was so warm this year, but after that, you got to shut it down.
You got to clean all that out and get everything drained. And what kind of, I know we were talking about this a little bit earlier, but there's some certifications and stuff that you have to go through every year to buy the material that you need to buy for this business. Correct?
Yeah. So there's just, certifications as far as like some of the chemicals that you have to use. The chemicals, like I said, they're biodegradable, they're, eco-friendly. So it's nothing hazardous, but some of them are corrosive, because they're eating the algae, they're eating the bacteria, they're killing it. And it's all stuff that you might be able to purchase on a very small scale, like, through a home improvement store.
Yeah.
But I'm getting it in 500 gallons at a time. Like I have a big tanker truck that comes to my shop. They've got these giant hoses and they fill my big tanks. And then I got pumps that fill my truck every morning before I go out, So,
so it's the volume is what you got to have.
It's the volume. Yeah. The volume, you have to know what you're doing. You have to know how to like, how do I say this? Like, some of the chemicals, you want to deactivate them before you leave the house. So you do the house and you got to make sure that like you take care of the plants and you make sure that the chemical will go into your water or onto your plants, and it won't kill your plants, but it'll kill the bacteria that feeds your plants. Mm-hmm. So before you leave, you got to make sure that's all deactivated. We refertilize everybody's stuff, and so I can't show up to somebody's house with $1 million worth of landscaping, because you show up to these houses, sometimes some of them in Lake Geneva, there's $1 million worth of landscaping right there, man. Mm-hmm. I messed that up once and
never again, right?
And you're done,
Yeah.
So the insurance won't even cover numbers that high for some of these, So you got to make sure you do it right. We've never killed anything, so
you're doing things the right way.
Yeah. So you got to learn about that. So we go and we get, recertified and stuff. Usually it's once a year. COVID kind of messed that up too, is like everything else. So there was a few years gap, but they stopped asking for those certifications for that amount of time because there was nowhere that you could go and take your courses, you know. So
I'm surprised they didn't do that just online.
Yeah, that would have been smart, you know. And you know what, they might have, man, but they just the companies where I was buying my stuff weren't really asking for them, and I know the process, so I'm just kind of going in there to because I do it all every day, you know. So it's like, and not only do I want to know the process and be in compliance, I also don't want to destroy somebody's property, you know, because I know how hard it is to get something. Some of these houses that you walk around and we're washing, I don't almost feel comfortable even washing the house, you know, because it's like, this thing is a work of art, you know, like.
Yeah, I know. So, I'm sure when you pulled up the driveway today, you thought the same thing.
Oh, of course. Yeah, no, you know what? I actually have always wanted to live in the country, man. But nowadays, man, it's really hard to find it's because it's hard to find a couple acres, and that's all I need, you know. How many acres you got out here?
I got 10 here.
Yeah, see, that's, and do you plant the fields?
I have custom guys come in and they custom farm it for me.
Yeah. So what does that mean?
So I'm paying them to plant my crop and harvest my crop.
Okay.
Because I don't have the equipment to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm paying them to do that for me. So it's all my income, but it's all my expense.
Yeah.
They charge me X amount an acre to plant it, to spray it, to combine it. And then it goes right to the granary.
Yeah.
It sells under my name. They send me a bill. I pay for it.
Okay.
But there's so many tax reasons why I do that.
Yeah.
Because it's farming, it's ag.
Yeah.
You know, so this has got to stay ag, which means my property is considered ag.
Yeah.
You know, so your taxes are already lower because it's considered ag.
Yeah.
The amount of write-offs that farmers can do when they have property, that's taxed ag, and it is ag.
Yeah.
Oh, blow your mind.
Yeah. Yeah. See, that's what I got to learn about that, man. We got to talk about that one day. I really want to farm, but then I'm like, dude, I'm gonna have to farm that.
you don't have to. Somebody come in and farm it for you.
Yeah. See, I didn't know that. See, because like everything I see is 10 acres, 15 acres, you know, and that's on the small end nowadays. You know, some of these places are.
Yeah, but you can fence that all in and put some horses out back and some cattle out back.
Yeah.
You can raise. Guess what? As long as you can get it rezoned back to ag.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
And a guy like you, I think you could put it through.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be cool to have your own cows. And
that would be really cool.
Your own beef and have some hogs on the side, and you can just, hey, this is Frank's beef right here,
dude,
baby.
We did the hogs
straight
for a while.
Straight from my farm. Yeah. You know what I mean?
We did the hogs for a while, man, and that's tough, man. It's hard work. We rented a farm. We had hogs on. We did that for like a year, and I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'll buy my hogs, you know. Because that's where you come from, right? That's you come, yeah.
The funny thing is summertime isn't bad. It's the wintertime.
Oh, and we started like in the winter. It was horrible, man.
Because you got to have water heaters in them to make sure that the waters don't freeze, and you always want to make sure you have bedding down so they can stay warm in the wintertime. And that's when usually pneumonia and the coughs and all that stuff. That's when they start getting sick, is in the wintertime, unless they're in a heated building or a building where there's a bunch of them where their body heat keeps everything good. But if you don't have that, man, it can be a real pain in the what.
It was, man. So it was. I mean, we bought a truck. We'd go to all like these grocery stores and pick up like the fruit, the veggies, everything that was like. Then that's how we were feeding them, because it's like, oh, we're gonna go organic, and oh man.
Yeah, and there's I haven't looked recently, but I mean the price and the difference in price between organic and not organic is just substantial.
Yeah. So we did that for a year. We did that for like a winter.
And was like, nope.
Yep.
It's a different story if you walk out of your house and your animals are right there. But when you walk out of your house and you got to drive, even if it's 10 minutes down the road, you go, jeez.
We were out there in Johnstown, man, way out there. And it was like we'd pass the store for like 10 miles. And so in the morning, you'd get up extra early and go do that. And then you'd go back, We had a shower.
Then go to the job.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
How's your pressure washer bins been doing? Picking up?
It's dude, honestly, if I'm being completely honest with you, it's the best business I own when we're talking about income and money making. You know what I mean? It does the best. It's not what I like doing the best, but it's
correct.
Your
margins are there.
Yeah, because you're not buying in product, and you don't have I have a shop and everything. So I do rent a shop and I have an office and everything, but I didn't have to. It's just
makes it easier. For you.
And so many places don't. That everybody just buys a pressure washer and goes out there and lately I just started seeing so many people destroying property. And I worked for a guy when I was right after high school, and he was destroying people's property and just moving from place to place. So I was like, I don't want to be that. You know what I mean? If something happens, here's my shop. I'm
here.
Yeah,
Call
I'm
me.
here.
We'll set up.
Yep.
I'll come out and take a look at it.
Yeah.
Or
So I think that makes
a
a difference, you know, and I even use that in my advertising. Like, hey guys, we're here. We've been here for a number of years already in a shop in a one location. This isn't something that we just started, you know. I think we've been doing this for like almost 8 years, you know. So,
and it sounds like you're improving every year. You've improved.
Oh, there's a lot I want to do, man. I want to buy a drone. They got this awesome drone that you could watch like water towers and stuff from the ground. They'll set up your truck with a dashboard, and the drone hooks up to your hoses and stuff, and you're just watching on a camera as you're washing, so you could watch giant buildings and stuff. Now that's big money. I mean, $50,000, you know.
But that's big money.
Yeah, that's big money, but it's also, you're charging a lot for that type of service.
Absolutely.
You know, because you're showing up to bigger jobs, you know. And
so like in farming, they also have drones.
Yeah.
That can go spray.
It's probably very similar,
it's super
man.
similar. It's super similar. They can come back and they set it down. You put a new battery in. You put all your ingredients that you need. You can map it out in your field, hit the go button, it'll go out, whatever height you want, whatever speed you want, how much you want to put down, and it just goes. Now, I got to believe this is the same kind of thing.
Yeah, is that connected to hoses, or is that connected to like does that have a tank?
It's got its own tank.
See, these don't. These connect to your hoses because you have to have a lot of water. You know, there'd be no way.
Because of the soft wash. Is what you're saying.
Yeah, all the chemicals and stuff. So either way, it's pretty cool, and it's something that I'm looking into. Obviously, that would consider taking. That would mean taking courses and all these different things.
Yeah, because you got to have your
drone license.
Yeah, I was going to say aviator's license, but I don't think that's right.
It might be, man. I don't know, but it's a lot more. Now that there's more certifications when it comes to that. Also, man, you don't want to crash a $50,000 drone.
No.
And I wonder how your insurance, how my insurance is going to be like. Like, I wonder what they're going to have to say.
What are you doing, Frank?
Yeah. So that's a whole thing. So, but we're trying to get better. But then again, it's going to take a team, you know, and that's what I'm concentrated on this year.
So what are you looking for in a team? Bring that up. So in case anybody here's listening and can...
I need somebody that's good with tech, man. Right now I need to hire somebody that's good with tech that could do like graphics, like, you know, like hey man, I need you to drop this poster that says, you know, what we have, our specials for the week, you know, hey man, I need you to do up this coupon, you know, and they could just, somebody like that did MMJ in high school would be, you know what I mean? Like, something like that, you know, and just somebody that like, because I'm sorry, man.
No, you're good. So it's not the first time, won't be the last.
Yeah. So, like, there's so much going on that I have like these ideas and these things that I got to do, but I only have this much time at this business today. Cause like my day starts where like I wake up, I'm at the laundromat. I got to make sure that the coin machines are full, that the laundromat is clean, that this and that. From there,
everything's working properly the way it should be.
In the summer, from there, I could end up in Chicago washing a building. And then I could end up in Madison. And then at the end of the day, I'm closing Johnstown. So like, for me to like, I just need somebody that could call up and be like, yo, write this down. This is what you got to do. You know, like right now, one thing that I need to do is I want to start shipping my meat just in the state of Wisconsin. And I know it's possible because I've seen other places do it. However, I took some time. I went to the post office. They gave me a thing, and it's like, this is taking too long. I got to move on to the next thing, you know? I need people that could just follow through with the things I tell them to follow through. Basically like a little assistant, man, for part-time. And that's what I need to start right now, you know? So if anybody's out there, hit me up, find me, find Kyle.
Yeah.
You know,
I'll point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just didn't know if you were like deep into this team building thing yet, or if this is just
I'm just getting started right now. We have our little group, like I told you and right now I'm going to lean a lot on that. I'm going to be very selfish with that. I'm going to bring my problems that way. Because I know if I have an issue, maybe if we get enough, you know, we get enough business owners in the building, and I say, hey, I'm trying to figure out how to ship meat. Maybe one of them is going to be like, well, I ship cheese. That's pretty similar. You know, we could
figure something out.
We could figure something out, man. You know, maybe you know some things that I need to know, you know?
Yeah.
Let me buy you a beer. Let's go.
Let's have a conversation about this.
Yeah.
No, like I said, I think that thing is a great idea.
Yeah.
I really do.
So, but yeah, no, I do have to build a team. And like I said, I'm just in the infant states of this because I'm just so involved. I can't be that involved anymore, you know?
You can still be involved. You just got to be involved in different in a different way.
Yeah. Like if I'm trying to grow it, I can't grow all this by myself.
No.
So
No. Like I said, you're going to need to trust people. You're going to need to train people the way that you want. That's the fun thing about when you're looking in a position that you're in now, is now all of a sudden you can say, okay, I need somebody that I can mold to what I need them to do.
Yeah.
And you have 100% authority on who to choose and pick and choose on that.
Yeah.
So that's also a good thing, right? Because now you can, like I said, if I need you to do this job, do this job. Now you're going to bring things to this job that I don't know how to do.
Yeah.
For instance, technology, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how to do this, but you do.
Yeah.
This is what I want you to do. Come back with me with ideas, thought processes, because you get this and I don't.
Yeah. And it's just as simple as that, man. Somebody that could be like, hey, man, I need a poster. We're going to have this sale on this date. I need you to give me a poster.
This is what I want. This is what I want on the poster.
Send me an email and see what it says. I'm not going to micromanage you.
Yeah. Use your imagination, man.
Yep. That's it. Just things like that. As simple as that. Hey, man, I need you to print out a coupon. I'm going to go to this event and I just want to be able to hand everybody coupons, just things like that. Cause
simple stuff.
I always think, there's always things like that need to be done, but I can't do it all by myself.
I know.
Cause it takes time and it's, so.
I get it. I totally get it. Let's get on this laundromat a little bit. So, this is something that you have recently taken over.
Yeah.
And this is up in Walworth, correct?
It's in Walworth, yeah. It's called Sunny Suds Laundromat.
Sunny Suds.
Yep. So it's right by, kind of like by, I think it's Maggie Moo's. It used to be the Dairy Ripple. You remember the Dairy Ripple?
Yep.
It's in that, it's in that little, what do you call
Strip
it?
mall
Strip
there.
mall, yeah. So it's been around for a long time. It was this lady named Sunny's. It was one of the old owners' grandmother or something. She started it. He had it, and then my brother bought it maybe 5-6 years ago, something like that. I was telling you, he was in a car accident in August, and this kind of was just like, bam, I kind of just, somebody's got to take care of this laundromat. And it's been really, really tough because I don't know anything about laundromats, and laundromat machines take a beating. Some of these run all day. There's people in there, they run all day. So simple things like just an error code on there where my brother had it and he knew how to do it, just reset this or do that. I don't know any of that. So
you gotta learn it.
About 3 weeks after he passed, man, I had probably 75% of the machines down. I still got to find a way to make ends meet and make, pay rent and do all that. And you can't do that if your machines are all down.
Nope.
And that's another thing. If there's anybody that's out there that's awesome, a mechanical person, send them my way, just replacing things like struts in a washing machine and things like that. Somebody that's just mechanical would help out a lot. But I'm learning right now, and it's kind of like baptism by fire, man. It just kind of, my brother passed away in one day, and then the next day, now the family has a laundromat that has to be taken care of, cleaned, and we don't even know how to do any of it. And we got to, this. He passed away in August. It's been 4.5 months or something like that. So we got a handle on the day-to-day type of thing, but we just need to find somebody that could keep up with our machines, and it's hard to find somebody that does that.
Yeah, and when it comes to washers and dryers and stuff, it's kind of a niche market.
Yeah, it's very niche. I mean, there's, I've found some like I'll find somebody and they'll come in 1 or 2 days and then you just can't get a hold of them. They're so busy. They're so busy because there'll be like a few guys that do the entire state, so.
I might be able to help you out on that. Yeah, we'll talk after.
Yeah.
But no, well, I mean, it's another trial by error thing.
Yeah. And, it's got to work at this point. I'm going to upgrade a bunch of equipment. It's going to take some money to do. It has some bigger equipment in there that is good so that you can go in there and just do a bunch of laundry in one machine. But I want to get a bunch more, man, because I got to maximize the amount of money per square foot that place could make because rent's high. Now I'm going to have an attendant there that wasn't there before because I feel that's important. Like something happens, a machine goes down, you need your coins back.
Your clothes out and your coins back.
Something like that, so obviously it's got to make money. It's got to make more money than it did before because it didn't have an attendant, it didn't have all these things, and yeah, it's interesting.
Well, I guess time will tell how that's all going to work out.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming you got it all back up and you got all the machines back up and rolling now, and everything's.
Yep, most of them are up and running. A lot of them have parts that are just waiting for the technician to come in and replace them. But.
How many machines you got in there?
Oh, man. there's probably like maybe, I would say probably 30 dryers, 35 dryers.
Holy cow.
Yeah, 6 or 7 of them being really, really big ones, the commercial for your like comforters and stuff. And they go both ways. They spin a couple times this way, a couple times this way, because I guess a comforter will just get tied up into a giant knot. I didn't know that, but they're just special reversed dryers. Those are all just a few years old. He had put them in there. I think those were like over $100,000. Yeah. Those were all, and that's another thing I'm learning, that stuff costs so much money. Like, dude, man, a $20,000 washing machine. Like, are you kidding me?
Well, they're a $20,000 washing machine for a reason.
Yeah, that's true.
Because, like you said, they're spinning.
Yeah.
8 hours a day. 7 days a week, minimum.
So, and then for washers, we probably have 25, 30 washers.
It's about the same amount.
Yeah, about the same amount. But the washers, I think half of them are new. Some of them are a little bit older. I think they're kind of coming to the end of their lifespan, and I want to replace them, but I want to replace them with bigger, so that, you know what I mean? So that instead of being, well, I'm going to be straight up, instead of being a $3 machine, I want it to be a $7 machine, but you're putting twice as much in, you know what I mean? So that helps you out. It's going to cut your time at the laundromat, and it's also going to make you want to come back to my laundromat more, you know? I want to do, I got to get some Wi-Fi in there. I want to get like maybe a couple TVs up, you know, candy machines.
So when people are sitting there bored, they can at least be on Wi-Fi. They can be watching the, you know, college football game or whatever.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I did not realize how many people use a laundromat, and you have to use a laundromat, because even us, man, like I said, now there's 5 of us. That's a lot. You miss a week of laundry because you went to a tournament, and it's like, dude, your next Sunday, that's it, bro.
Laundry all day, baby.
All day you're doing laundry, and it sucks. Or you can go in there, man, and get it done in an hour.
Yeah.
You know, it's 34 minutes for the washer, and then like 18 to 20 minutes on the dryers. And
so dryers really kick ass then.
Oh, they're very
good. For 18 or 20 minutes.
Yeah, dude, they're very good dryers.
I mean, hell, my dryer takes 50 minutes.
Yeah,
most
no,
of the
these
time.
are big dryers, and they're new, man. They're, you know, the most up to date ones, you know. So, yeah. So if you guys have a lot of laundry, I'm gonna sell everything on this podcast.
That's all right. That's what we're here for, man. We're here to promote local businesses and
and check us out. So I think we're gonna be called the State Line Referral Partners, I believe is gonna be our name. And with what I was saying, our
your group,
our group, and I mean we have realtors, we have, you know, I think an attorney, we have financial advisors, we have construction people, you know, and. Yeah, we want to get like local restaurants and everything in there just to shoot ideas off of each other, and also to support each other, man, because the best thing you could do for somebody is support each other. I got people that come in, like most of the people in the group have come in and buy meat since they became part of the group and everything, you know, like I have there's an insurance guy there. Now you're my insurance guy, you know, why wouldn't you be? How am I going to refer you to somebody if I'm not using you?
Correct.
So
I probably know half these guys that you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm sure you do, man. Steve, you know Steve,
oh,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, my boy Steve. He's a good guy. So,
I have my insurance through him.
Yeah. So everybody, man, like, you know, if I'm going to buy a house, why would I not buy a house from the lady that works with us, you know?
Makes sense.
So
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. Like I said, keep me posted when you guys start your meetings and stuff. I'd be happy to.
Yeah. No, that would be awesome, you know? That would be awesome.
I'd be happy to stop in and see what it's all about.
Yeah. So we're looking for a painter. We want to fill all these categories, you know, that it's, you know, hey, you know a guy, especially like with the soft washing thing. People want me out there doing mulch. People want me out. I don't got time to screen it. You know what I mean? It'd be nice to just be able to like,
this I know guy. A guy. Yep. Call him.
Yep.
Or I know this chick. Call her.
And I know that he's good. You know, that's another thing, you know, like we all came together through a different organization that was like similar group where it was, but when I came on board, there was no vetting. There was no nothing. So I was like, I asked the group right away, like, hey, how do they know I don't suck? Like, they just let me into this group. You know, there was a fee. And it's like,
of course.
How do they know that I'm not going to destroy somebody's property? And if I were to destroy their property because you sent me, like that kind of screws you.
That looks bad on you too.
At the same time, like if I send somebody, hey man, this guy, you need a painter, and I'm like, I got this guy, and they're like, yo, Frank, this guy came over and painted all my floors, and you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Now I look like a fool. So,
yeah, I think that's the one nice thing about doing business with people that you know.
Yeah.
Yep. You're not going to screw me. I'm not going to screw you. Accidents happen.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong.
Yep. And you can call me when those accidents
Exactly.
happen,
I can call you up and be like, bro, what the hell? And you can be like, oh, I know, I screwed up.
I've had things happen. Like you said, things happen. I went to this one house. It was a lake house. It was an awesome house. I taped off everything. I did everything the best I could, but there was a hidden outlet, man. Water got in it and it blew the fuse. And it was connected to the refrigerator. So they go into the house. It's a lake house, so they're not there all the time. They go into their house, man, and he's like, dude, it smelled like someone was murdered.
Oh, no.
All the meat. Yeah, well, hit me up, man. He calls me, I fix it. I refill the freezer, It wasn't a big problem. It just blew a switch, but, And
if you didn't see it, shit happens.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way it goes.
But you want to do business with somebody that's not just going to ignore your phone calls when that happens,
Correct.
And I would be a fool to ignore those phone calls because that's when it matters. You know what I mean? Like, this is why I'm here. Like,
I agree.
I messed up, and
Yeah, I'm here to make money, but if it's my fault, it's my fault.
Yeah.
And I'm here to help. I'm here to help rectify that, so we can.
Yep. And I've watched this house ever since, and I've always, you know what I mean?
Well, now you know it's there.
Yeah. Now I know it's there. So, yeah.
Well, Frank, this has been awesome. We've been talking for quite a while now. So thank you for taking the time, coming over, hanging out, and talking about everything that's new in your life. Mostly good, some tragic.
Yep.
But thank you for coming in here and talking about it and telling your story, and I appreciate it.
Yep, thank you. Thanks for the time, man. Everybody check out my Facebook page, Johnstown Meat Co. Johnstown Meat Co. Walworth. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Beer with a Butcher, and come to Johnstown, Walworth, Wisconsin. We're right on the square. We got the best stuff.
You got good stuff, no doubt. Thanks, Frank. We'll talk to you later.
Yep.
Bye, everybody.